Hey everyone, so excited to be back with y'all leading the devotion today on this Thursday. I'm super excited that today we get to talk about the darkest day in human history. And so I kind of set the tone here, and the setting is dark and quiet because I really want to set the mood of what's coming. So today we're talking about the crucifixion, the death, and the burial of Jesus, so that tomorrow we can get the best news. So today you're stuck with the second best news ever, and we'll get into that shortly. I'm reading in the book of Matthew. I'm in the New Living Translation, and if you want to go back and look at any of this, I'm in Matthew chapter 27, but I'm just going to do a lot of paraphrasing just to go over the story so you can kind of grasp what's going on. It starts and the soldiers take Jesus into their headquarters, and they strip him and they put a scarlet robe on him. And then they mock him, and they put a crown of thorns on his head, and they spit on him, and they give him a stick in his right hand to use as a scepter, and they kneel before him, and they mock him, and they taunt him. Then they take the stick in his right hand, they strip it from him, and they beat him in the head with it. They take the scarlet robe that they placed on him, and after they were tired of mocking him and taunting him, they put his regular clothes back on, and they led him away to be crucified. Now on the way, they came across a man named Simon from Cyrene, and he was the one who carried Jesus' cross. And they went to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. The soldiers gave Jesus some bitter wine, so he didn't drink it. He refused to drink it after tasting it. And they nailed him to the cross. They gambled or threw dice or cast lots for his clothes. And then there was a sign that hung above Jesus' head that was his conviction. It was what he was guilty of or charged for. And it said, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." There were two criminals who were going to be crucified with him, and they were on his right and left side. Everyone who passed by shouted in mockery. "Look at you now," they yelled. "You were going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Well then, if you're the Son of God, save yourself and come down from the cross." Even the priests and the teachers and their elders who passed by, the very ones who were teaching about Jesus and praising his name, passed by and mocked him as well and taunted him. They said, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. So he's the King of Israel, is he? Let him come down from the cross right now, and we will believe in him. He trusted God, so let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" Even the criminals hung with Jesus mocked him in this manner. And it says at noon, darkness fell. This darkness fell over the whole land until about 3 o'clock. At about 3 o'clock, Jesus called out, my God, why have you abandoned me?" Says some of the bystanders misunderstood and thought he was calling out to Elijah. One of them ran and filled a sponge with sour wine and held it up on a reed stick so Jesus could have a drink. But the rest shouted, "Wait, let's see whether Elijah comes to save him." So Jesus shouts again, and at that moment, Jesus released his spirit. And at that moment, the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. It says the whole earth shook, rocks were torn apart, and tombs opened. There were bodies of many godly men and women who had died, and they at that moment were raised from the dead. And they left the cemetery after Jesus' resurrection and went to the holy city of Jerusalem and appeared to many people. The Roman officer and the other soldiers at the crucifixion were terrified by the earthquake and all that had happened. And they said, "This man truly was the Son of God." Many women who had come from Galilee with Jesus to care for him were watching from a distance. There was Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of James and John, the sons of Zebedee. It says, as evening approached, Joseph, a rich man from Arimathea, who had become a follower of Jesus, went to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. And Pilate issued an order to release it to him. So Joseph took the body, he wrapped it in a long sheet of clean linen cloth. He placed it in his own tomb, which was new and carved out of rock. And he rolled a great stone across the entrance and left. And Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting across the tomb and watching. So church, this is what we see today. We see that Jesus was mocked. He was scoffed. He was laughed at. He was spit on. He was tortured. They said, Jesus, if you truly are the Son of God, save yourself. And Jesus could have. But he knew why he came to this earth. He knew his purpose and knew that he had to fulfill what the Father had for him. So he took the mocking and the taunting upon his shoulders. And this is why I told you I was giving you the second best news. And it's this, that Jesus Christ died for you and your sin. Jesus Christ died for me and my sin. And this is second best news because of what's to come tomorrow through our devotion. So, church or whoever's watching this, we end today on a dark note. But we have hope because the light is coming. And it's so encouraging and so exciting that we don't have to stay in darkness. So I'm so excited for you to tune in tomorrow to hear Justin Thompson, our associate pastor, tell you the best news. So church, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening and walking through this story with me. I pray that you have an amazing Good Friday tomorrow, and that this Easter Sunday you find yourself clinging to Jesus more than you ever have before. That you're not stuck in darkness, but you rise with the light that is Jesus. So church, we love you. Can't wait to see you.